Right, we're here today. We've got some pretty sad news during the last week or so that East Thurrock's most decorated player ever, Mr. Sam Higgins, has hung up his boots. So we just want to do a little video to say thank you and talk about everything he's done for us. So, man to my right brought him to the club and probably they're the best duo in non-league football for quite a long time. So, how did it all start, John? When did you bring him in? How did it all work?
How did it start? Funny thing was, it started with us playing an FA Trophy game at home to Brentwood, where Sam Higgins was playing at the time. We lost that game. The second goal was scored against us by Sam Higgins. Obviously, we went out of the competition. They progressed, but in the week, I had a phone call from the at the time manager Carl Griffith at Brentwood. Found me up and basically out of the blue said to me, "Am I looking for a centre forward?" And I just sort of like, it was weird, really. I said, "Yeah, well, possibly. Why?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, the bloke who scored a second goal against you last week." And I'm thinking, yeah, because even in that one goal, it was the technique that he used. It looked so easy and so comfortable for him. I knew he was a decent player based on the 90 minutes against us. I didn't know anything about him. That I found out a little bit later. But I just said to Carl, I said, "Carl, I'd love the opportunity to have him here." He said, "Okay, leave it with me. I'll set it up."
So he come in on loan or we signed him?
No, we signed him.
Wow.
Carl left the club that
Right.
same week.
We've got Cole to thank.
Yes, cheers, mate. um,
How old was Sam then?
oh, God. Sam was probably, I don't know, 21-ish, 22-ish.
Yeah.
Well, you'd know, Chris. Yeah, he didn't know me. I didn't know him. Anyway, Carl gave me his number. I phoned him up and said, "Look, blah, 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 this is the situation. Can we have a chat?" So we met him. I said, "Where do you want to meet?" He said, "Well, Treacle Mine." Well, okay, that's fine. That was, local for me as well. He was in Ockenden. But what I didn't know at the time, but his nan and granddad lived behind the treacle mine. So he used to go there regular. And so it was easy for him. So we met. It was strange because anybody that knew Sam then in particular, Sam was quiet. Um, Sam was quite shy, really. I think it was more of a case of perhaps if he didn't know someone, he didn't really want to trust people until the time was right and he got to know them. And he came in there. We sat down. I bought the drinks. I did that for years afterwards as well. Um, and he was quiet. So I had to convince him that not all non-league is dodgy. If you're going to get paid, you'll get paid, and all that sort of thing. So it went from there. Yeah, that was the start.
That was the start. And through there, he become on to be our top goal scorer ever. Scored some goals, taking us to some really, really silly places for our little club. But yeah, all of that started from that little meeting then.
Yeah.
Did he hit the ground running first couple of years?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the first season, no, he only made 37 appearances and the 38 goals in return. You know what I mean? It's a bit of a disappointment, isn't it?
Yeah. It got to the point he was nearly outscoring clubs by himself.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not all, the story isn't all rosy because I don't know if many people realise, but Sam left us 3 times. And after scoring 38 goals in 37 appearances in his first full season, he left at the end of that season and he popped up at Chelmsford. Now, I understand that because, if a club's sitting there with a player that is better than the level that you're getting to play at, there's always that situation where someone's going to come after him. And he did. And Chelmsford come in and he went there. He started the following season there. But the strange thing was, by the following February, he was back.
Yeah.
And that is pretty much the story going forward. He would go, but he'd always come back.
Yeah.
3 times that happened. Once with Chelmsford, once with Concord, and once with Bromley. I must admit, at the time he went to Concord, I was absolutely gutted. There was a rivalry between us and Concord at the time. We had, we went out to them 2 seasons on the spin in the playoffs. So yeah, for him to sign for Concord, it didn't really please me, but I must admit the phone call I made and the 7-dayer I put in following that to get him back was quite sweet. Yeah, so I enjoyed that moment.
Everything worked out in the end.
Everything worked out and he was back.
I suppose the Chelmsford and the Bromley move would have been in moving up the pyramid as well.
Yeah.
Were Concord above us at the time when he moved there to start with?
No, not to
that was
start with,
sideways.
they weren't.
Yeah. But the other two, he was trying to better what he had, maybe.
Yeah, and you can't take that away from any player.
Yeah.
That's the way it works, and I got that, and I got it. And to be honest, it didn't stop. By then, we'd sort of built up a bit of a relationship. He'd known me for a season.
Yeah.
I think the fact that he knew that by then he could trust me. The conversations between me and him never went away, whether he was at our club or at another club.
Yeah.
Regular contact was always there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think from the outside looking in, the relationship the two of you had was absolutely fundamental to all of it, because Sam played in really good East Thurrock sides. He played in, when we was playing at a higher level, quite not as good East Thurrock sides. At a level we'd go into games not expected to win like we was when we was in the Ryman, and his goal would not differentiate. He'd scored 1 or 2 a week regardless if we was winning 4-0 or losing 2-1 or 4-2.
Yeah, nothing changed that. The goals were regular, they kept coming, and the total stats are unbelievable, really. Yeah, you're right. He wanted to play higher, and a player with his ability, in my opinion, should always try and play as high as they can. For whatever reasons, I think Sam, how can I put it? I think he enjoys being loved, and our club loved him. And perhaps sometimes, I don't know, I can't speak for other clubs, but perhaps going to a bigger club, you can get a little bit lost where, Sam, everybody knew Sam. And yeah, I'm glad he stuck around, to be fair.
Yeah. He was East Thurrock's number 9.
He was East Thurrock's number 9.
When did you make him captain?
Oh, God, that's a question that I haven't got the stats for.
Sorry, because no, that's for me. That was when it really was.
I think
that was a big statement from us.
Yeah, I can't actually remember, but it was a big statement, and I think he was. It's not something we'd never had that conversation. Would you fancy being captain, whatever? And I'm not even so sure that it was actually my idea. Don't forget, I had Devs and Joe with me nearly all the time. I had Higgo as well.
Yeah.
So they might even know the answer to that question better than me, because they do used to have a pop at me, because I forget things. So yeah,
that's brilliant. And I think we're just some of my best memories were either set pieces or penalties or goals. Just when you thought, whenever you put that ball down, I was 99% sure he was going to score. Just the back of the net would either be, when we used to play at home, he'd actually pick it up when it weren't held down. The metal would come up, or when we'd play away, the ball would nearly be back over the fence next to us. He'd run up and then just hit it hard.
Yeah.
And then free kicks, he would then beat the ball sideways underneath. The goal at Aldershot. That was Sam, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Free kick.
It's the pace he puts on the ball, his connection is true. You ain't going to want to get in the way of it once he strikes the ball. And as you say, yeah, if that wants to be 2 foot off the ground, he can drill it, and it's going in with pace, or it's top corner going in with pace. If you're a goalkeeper trying to save a penalty against it, no, I don't think I'd fancy that. Yeah, he was blessed with. I think what it was. He was a powerful lad in the sense of striking the ball, but the way I used to look at it was, he strikes the ball like a professional footballer does, and that's different to what the bang average non-league player strikes it at. And he had all them qualities, and when he hits it, you don't want to get in the way of it. Yeah, he had that ability.
Fantastic. Where do you think Sam will be sitting now? Will he be happy what he's looking back on?
Yeah, I think he will. You know, obviously things have changed, you know, since I first knew him. You know, he's got a lovely family, he's got 2 children, he enjoys nice holidays, he's got friends in other countries, i.e. other ex Thurrock players, where he can regularly visit. Yeah, no, he's, and I'm pleased because I always thought Sam should have made it higher. You know, the longer you work with him, the more you looked at him and thought, he shouldn't be here, you know. But for whatever reasons, you know, he had a lot of attributes, but then again, if you're looking to go that step higher, perhaps he didn't have some of the things that are required, you know, but he did well. I mean, when he was working, obviously when he first come here,
Yeah.
He had a job, and I know he was working with family and working at the same place that his nan was there, and that's the sort of lad he is. He's very, very family orientated. He is a homely boy, and his family is massively important to him.
Yeah,
which is good. You know, it's not like this person that can go out, oh, yeah, well, I can score 4 goals, I've got 40 goals this season, blah, blah, blah. No, he's never been that person.
yeah,
For me at that time, I knew, well, we had conversations, we knew he was looking for a different job. I actually helped with that situation. My son-in-law helped him as well with a job in the city. And I think Sam would say now that I don't think he's looked back job-wise since then, you know.
and I think that's another thing with non-league football. You do take it for granted. Obviously, I'd go out on a Friday night. Most people will at the end of the week. But these guys, 9 times out of 10, all the good boys are sitting at home. They're here early. You miss birthdays, Christmases, New Year's, just to play. My dad would see Sam regularly on the train going into work in the morning, and we'd been to Western-super-Mare on a Tuesday, or we'd gone somewhere again in the cup. I think that keep coming back and producing as a semi-professional athlete is a talent, because you've still got a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 that should be a real worry in life, and to keep turning up. I think all the boys how they do it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, let's get it right. He loved football.
Yeah,
you know, he perhaps didn't always show that to people, but I knew he loved football. And if you do, you know, it's in your blood, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's why he's probably carried on longer than he might have thought at the time, because, you know, let's get it right as also, because over the period of time that we had him, there was lots of spells where he was out injured. He couldn't do nothing about that, you know. His body would let him down at times, and he'd be out for long spells. You know, I mean, in stats here, I mean, I've actually looked at, I think there was a game here, he missed 10 games and scored 38 goals in 48 games. And he missed 10. You know, these are the sort of things that... Yeah. And he did struggle, and as he got a little bit older, a few, like, knee problems, back problems. I'm take it, they was when he phoned me up on a Thursday and say, Covo, I can't make training because my back's playing me up. I don't think he'd ever make it up or lie to me and fancy a night off of training. But, you know, training wasn't he didn't really like training.
So he wouldn't scream at you on the training pitches, he's going to be the best player on the pitch Saturday?
No. To be fair, some Thursdays it was lucky if we saw him or heard from him. No, training wasn't his favourite pastime. And even something less than that, running. He never really liked running either. But if you could do what he could do, there was no need for me to demand that he runs and runs and runs.
Yeah.
All the time he was producing what he produced, just leave him alone.
And I think to a certain extent as well, you'd see that from the other 10 boys on the pitch. You wouldn't see anyone ever go at him when he wasn't going side to side or maybe picking a certain amount that he should, because when we pick the ball up and go back the other way, he'd do the job of 3 or 4 people by himself. And it allowed us to play many different ways and play him in different positions on the park. I think you said to me once that he'd be the best centre-half if you had to play him centre-half.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, I mean, I think people in the game who know Sam would agree with that and understand that. Sam isn't just somebody that belts a ball at 300 mile an hour in the top corner. Sam can think. Sam's got a football brain. And that allows me to say that, you know, he could have played other positions. He couldn't play positions if it regarded on like he's got to chase someone back, like at 30 mile an hour. He ain't going to be able to do it. But his brain allows him to do a lot of different things to just scoring goals. Put it that way.
Yeah. And you can see we've got a few of the shirts, a few of the memories behind us. What's your favourite Sam Higgins goal or favourite memory with Sam, John? If you had to pick one or two.
Oh, blimey. And I ain't kidding. I mean, if anyone wants to take the time and go on YouTube and see his collection of goals, you would not be able to pick one out because there are some absolute worldies, and you sort of think, how on earth did he do that? But what I'd also add is that I think me, Devs, Joe, we was fortunate in that time that we knew the sort of players that Sam would respond to having around him, and we massively tried to not build a team around him, but have players on the pitch that can provide situations for him. Because if he gets that opportunity, he's going to take it. So we was always mindful of that. It was never just a case, put Sam up top, we'll win the game. No, there was a little bit more thought than that, getting the right player. And to be fair, when we didn't get the right players around him, he'd be the first one to tell me.
Yeah.
About his crap.
And I think that speaks a lot. That he wasn't just turning up for himself. He was a massive team player and a massive part of everything we've done.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And he would be sadly missed in the non-league game.
Well, he'd be sadly missed by, he will be. I mean,
whoever he was scoring for, because.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting here looking at some of his stats. I mean, he made 369 appearances for us. He scored 278 goals. 43 of them with penalties, but that's a lot of goals. That's a lot of return.
And even if you take them on, 235 goals without penalties in 369 games, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
My maths ain't great. That's about, what's that, 2 goals every 3 games?
Something like that.
Week in, week out.
Yeah.
Without penalties.
I mean, he was...
Pens even better. That is madness.
I don't know. I've said this before. I don't know. I can look back at my time at East Thurrock, and as I say, with Devs and Joe as well, we was pretty much all the way through. I don't know where we would have been without ever signing Sam Higgins, because it definitely put us on a road that was successful. And I'm not saying it was all about Sam, because it definitely wasn't. Because if you look back at the history of the players that he played with in non-league at our club, he was blessed with playing with a lot of other very good non-league players. So it was all set up around him. But yeah, I mean, Sam, I don't like to say like without him, because you do get away with it. You do get by. You just find someone different or someone else.
Yeah.
But I'm really pleased that in my time as manager of East Thurrock, that a big part of it had Sam Higgins rocking up in the changing room every Saturday. Yeah, it's good.
You said magic times.
Yeah. But there would have been times where he could whinge. Let's get this right. He could whinge. He was a proper moaner at times. I mean, and to be fair, he could have a soul cup as well. He didn't mind a soul cup. If I'd signed a new player, Sam expects him to come straight in, be like $1 million, supply plenty of opportunities for Sam to score goals. If he didn't, we'd be in the bar and it'd be Covo. Where'd you get him from? So he always let me know that.
Yeah.
It was, but I didn't mind that. That's good. That was fine.
Yeah. And was there who would you reckon was his favourite players to play with? If you had to name a couple, because he'd like anyone that was.
He would have loved to play.
Teeing him up.
Well, like Ratey would have been one of his first. He would have enjoyed playing. I mean, that's because he would deliver balls from wide areas. Reece Gilby, going back in the day, he would be buzzing around the midfield, but still playing little balls into Higgo. There's loads. I don't want to leave people out. So
that's only if you
go on and on.
Any at the top of your head.
Anybody that would supply opportunities for Sam to score a goal, would be Sam's favourite person of that day. Let's put it that way.
And he'd usually be on every East Thurrock's home fan their favourite player of the day on the way, because he got us another 3 points, or got us a point we didn't deserve, or sent us through in another cup. But
yeah, I mean, he wasn't always that perfect person, that perfect player. There were instances
and
where
I was good. If I could, there was if people would come, especially when we was a bit higher up the pyramid, you get people turn and go, oh, what's he doing? He's not tracking back. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. But if it wasn't for Sam's goals when we was in the Ryman or when we was needed to go through in these cup games, no one would have put the eyeballs on us anyway. There was good players around him, as I said. It wasn't all Sam, but people who picked us up when we was a bit higher up the pyramid would have a moan. And people would have a moan at you saying, if you did go without Sam, could it be a little bit, you could have played completely different. There were people that moaned, weren't there?
Oh, blimey, there's always people that moan. That's life, isn't it? But, I judge it very much by, as I say, the players that we put around him, but not just what they contributed on the pitch, talking to them in the bar, whatever, afterwards. And I tell you what, I don't think there's ever been a player play for me that would have said, I don't know why you signed Sam Higgins, and they would have enjoyed it every bit as much as me.
Yeah.
So, because, he would have been a pleasure to play with. All right, he'll moan. If you don't get him the ball, he'll have a go at you. If the ball's quality isn't good enough, he'll have a go at you. But he demands that, and that's how he ends up getting all these goals.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think his biggest accolade for me is probably winning top goal scorer of the league in the Conference South in a team that, you'll have to tell me where we finished first and second season. Which year did he win it? The first year or the second year? Where he was in the conference?
I thought he was going to tell me.
Oh, one of them two.
Yeah.
But in a team that we wasn't nowhere near the best team in the league. We wasn't the worst. But to win top goal scorer, I think says a lot because there's so many teams screaming out. Every manager on a Saturday, for one extra goal a week, that's what you're trying to find the difference. But that for me is when we got to the top of where we went, are you still our best player?
Yeah. The funny thing is, we're talking about all these goals. I think one of my most memorable moments of Sam on the football pitch, he didn't score. And it was against Chelmsford, and it was at Rookery Hill, where he's ended up having a long ball played up to him, and he takes it like he does on his chest, with a defender right up his back. And basically, all in one movement, took it on his chest, turned on it, and volleyed it from 45 yards. And it came off the crossbar and come back. Basically, more or less went straight back over his head into the other arm.
Yeah.
It was that powerful.
That was from his own half, wasn't it?
That was it was just in the opponent's half.
Yeah.
And from that moment, anybody who watched that, I don't think they'd have ever forgot it.
Yeah.
I forget most things, but I haven't forgot that.
We'll clip it up and hopefully we can show you that attempt. But yeah, I remember that. If that goal would have went in, that would have gone instantaneously viral.
Yeah.
Because it did do the non-league rounds and said, oh, this was close. But if that went in, I think Soccer M was still around at the time, but it had definitely ended up on there.
Sam would definitely have it on, because the one thing about him was he loved his own stats. Nothing wrong with that at all.
We better hide these because he'll want these, won't he?
He ain't going to get into none of them. He loved his stats, and he loved scoring goals, and them two things go together. So I'm pleased he did because, as I say, he was brilliant for us.
Yeah.
I don't think I can say anything a lot nicer because I don't want to say anything else.
Right, so how many children have you got, John?
Me?
Would you count Sam as a half?
Nah. Don't think I'd better claim that bit. I don't mind claiming the signing of him.
His football son, a football son.
Yeah, oh, well, yeah, let's be fair, because I haven't got one. But no, he's a one-off, Sam.
Yeah.
One-off.
No,
I mean, what people didn't realise right at the beginning, he started off at Millwall. I'm not 100% sure, that's how his connection with Cole Griffith, who was the manager at Brentwood. I think there was I knew there was a connection. I think it was through them. He ended up going and playing in Spain.
Right. I didn't know that.
No, that's something else people didn't know about him.
What, when he was really young, yeah?
Yeah, he's at the start
Before
of his
the
career.
start. Yeah.
I'm probably talking, I'm going to guess at about 19, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, he went out and played in Spain.
What, professional?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the bit. Sam is very close. I said it before, a family person. And I think, reading between the lines when he told me the story, I think he was possibly a little bit homesick.
Yeah.
You know, and anyway, he's, for whatever reason, which I say I haven't got all the details, he ended up coming home. And when he came home, that's where he got contacted with the contact between Carl Griffiths and himself to go to Brentwood. And then, as I say, that's how it all. But yeah, he had time out there. And to be honest, you look back now and you think, how did you not make pro?
Yeah.
Because, and perhaps there'll be people that did have him around at that time and might be sort of thinking the same thing. I don't know. But okay, fitness would have always possibly crept in and been not on his side, if you like, you know, but.
And without letting anything too much out of the bag, obviously, when them offers did come in and he did go and come back, did he have any really big, would any really big clubs or big offers come in for Sam and he decided to stay put?
No, I mean, look, I won't know all of the opportunities or offers that he had because, you know, if someone phones him up and says, like, you know, I'm interested in signing you, he ain't going to tell me everybody that does it and everybody that he would have had a lot of phone calls. You know, I know how it works that I would never have known about. All I can speak of is the times that he did stay with us and how grateful that I was that he did stay with us.
Yeah.
What was going on in the background, it happens, but no, that's not my business.
Yeah. I'm sure he got plenty of tap-up phone calls through the week.
To be honest, he couldn't have got a lot of calls because most of the day he'd be on the phone to me. So, like, his phone would have been engaged a lot. Yeah. God knows how many conversations we had over the years. But yeah, so I think that pretty much sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, and just a big, massive thank you on behalf of myself and I'm sure every other East Thurrock fan of this generation because
and
thank you, Sam.
Thank yous for giving me the opportunity to deliver this sort of stuff that we're doing for Higgo because he deserves it.
Yeah. No, thank you, Sam. And as I said, we're going to try and clip up that crossbar attempt, definitely. And you might have seen a few goals at the start, or hopefully you'll see a few of Sam's goals at the end. And thank you very much, Sam, on behalf of me. And do you want to finish it there, John?
See you later, Sam. Ta-da.